and we're having such a good time here at Urban 42. I love the place. I can't say that enough. I really love the place. I'm so glad I'm here today,
That's
and
great.
Chikitia is taking great care of us today here. So thank you so much. And then we're gonna go to the second part of the conversation, which is talking about what you love about what you do. Because if you are doing something, for so many big companies, I have a feeling that you really love, what you do on a daily basis. Tell me a little bit about. Tell me three things. I always ask for three things, and with examples of what you love, things that you really love about what you do.
Yeah, no, thanks for that question. Growing up, I'm the youngest of three, and I was always the talker, so I would just drive my older brother and sister crazy, and my mother and whatnot. I talk all the time, so I'm a communicator.
Yes.
I love talking to people and interacting. That's one thing that I've realized that I just really enjoy, interacting with different people, and being able to see others improve and do better as a result of those interactions. So I'm a relationship builder, if you will, and so in my profession, so my focus right now is legal operations.
Okay.
So what does that mean? So at the end of the day, we have a legal firm, we have attorneys, and there's a lot of things that they're doing, whether it be dealing with antitrust, whether it be dealing with patents and those type of things. How do we help them focus on doing the work of an attorney?
Okay.
And a lot of times in a legal firm, as an example, you've got that attorney that's doing everything. They're balancing the books, they're running the different systems, they're pulling in different programs to try to get work done. How do I help make that job easier? And so that's what, in the field of legal operations, it's about optimizing the work in the space, and at the end of the day, really accelerating how a company can grow further, and optimizing things, whether it comes to centralizing how information is provided and sent across the different areas of the company, or if it's about how do we structure how contracts are built to make that job or work happen faster. Prior companies, it was always about how do you make things happen faster.
Okay.
How do you unlock the potential of the company in the most effective way? And so again, solving problems,
Yes.
right? Being able to critically think. I'm a chess player.
Oh,
I enjoy the different
multiple
strategies
parts of- okay.
and seeing big picture and those type of things. So that's something that I've always embraced, and that's the second component that I think is just really exciting. The third is developing talent and opening doors for others. I'm a big believer in mentorship, and not just mentorship, but sponsorship. How do I not only help others grow in their career and their profession, but how do I help open doors, especially open doors for people that look like you and me?
Yes.
And also for women in technology that don't get as many opportunities. How do you open those doors?
Yes.
That's something that I'm extremely passionate about when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I helped to build out the supplier diversity program at Walmart in their technology space.
Wow.
And so that gave me an opportunity to really meet and even mentor to some degree smaller companies, companies that were from different diverse backgrounds in terms of women-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, but giving them insight on how to work with large enterprises. And so that was something that I really just enjoyed. Mentoring, helping solve problems, and then ultimately dealing with people. And those are the three things that I absolutely love doing.
Wow, you touch on some things that I think that as the founder of Professional Lunch that I have as points that goals that I have to accomplish in that sense when you talk about diversity. Because one thing I want to have to bring to the community is showing some of the young people that maybe in their family they don't have a college grad, somebody who graduated from college. They don't have somebody who has like a professional career, a stable career that they can follow in their path. And so me having this kind of conversation with a professional like yourself who's accomplished so much can give them that hope to see that, oh, I can do that too. I can accomplish that. I sit down with people that are engineers, accountants. They can say, oh, it's not impossible for me because he's doing it. I can do that too. And I'm so glad you mentioned that. And you talk about the reading that diversity is something for Walmart. Tell me a little bit more about that. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, that had to do with the different suppliers
Okay.
or vendors that would do work in the technology sector,
Okay.
opening up doors to where the amount of money that would be spent would really be relegated to companies that were diverse in nature. So that was, years back, and I was very fortunate to be a part of that and spearhead a lot of that and be successful to see goals achieved. But what it really resulted in was a lot of different interactions with different companies and giving them those opportunities. You had some that weren't ready and some that were very ready, and that was very fulfilling, point of being able to do that. But I think that carries over into each company that I've been in terms of how do you unlock that potential and diverse talent.
Okay.
And I think that there's a duty and responsibility to always try to open up doors.
Okay.
And again, there's value in diversity because
Absolutely.
as a company, it can give you unlock more innovation.
Yes.
It can make you do a lot of different things in a more effective manner. Just getting diverse perspectives and understanding it, working with diverse talent, it works out in the long run.
Wow.
And there are numbers to support that. And so
Wonderful.
it's one thing that I always am passionate about.
Wonderful. Can you think of a group of people you work with or something that you work on that gives you the most amount of joy? It can be a project that you work with a group of people. It can be that, a team that you had to lead in some sense. So
Yeah.
give me an example of something that in your professional life that you said that, man, today I accomplished that. I felt on top of the world. So something like that. Can you think of it?
I'll be honest. The thing that I've learned throughout my career is this: today is my best day.
Wow.
I have
to write
and
this
so
down.
so I say that and I don't say it in a cliche-ish type manner. I say it with I believe that, and the reason why I say that is it's every company I've worked for, I loved it.
Wow.
I absolutely enjoyed
Yeah.
being a Boeing intern and working for that company. When I worked at Microsoft, I
Yeah.
loved every aspect of it. When I worked at Walmart, it was great, and I saved money, lived better, and I followed that passionately. And when I worked at Doosan Bobcat, I enjoyed it. And I'll tell you the key differentiator: when a company has a strong culture
Yes.
and strong values, it means everything.
Yes.
And so now, as I work for Intel, I'm on cloud nine. It's the best culture I've ever been a part of. The leadership that I'm fortunate to serve under. A gentleman who hired me, Mike, when he brought me in, I was just thrilled, and the leader that he is. And so I was excited to learn from and be a part of that team. And following great leadership is important. And then I have a team under me that I'm really just blessed to have inherited such a team. And so in each area I've been in, each company I've worked for, I've been fortunate to really have these strong teams to where I can honestly say, I enjoyed every bit of it. But currently today is my best. So I mean, when I think about what I'm most excited about, it's what I'm doing now.
Wow.
And the area that I'm serving in and the opportunity that I have in such a company such as Intel, where the greatness that we have in store for us. So that's really one of the things. But I look at that as throughout my career, I've had so many different great experiences. It's hard to kind of put your finger on here's the one.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah,
it's
wonderful. So, you know, I think, one of the most interesting questions that I can think of to ask you, because right now there are people that are getting out of school looking for jobs. What do you think? What do you think that change? What are the changes that employers are looking for now that they were not looking for when you start? You know, out when you're looking for an internship, going.
yeah.
You know, what do you think are some of the changes that right now in the marketplace right now that employers are looking for that were not there then, or if there is some that were there then and they're still looking for them?
Absolutely. When I started my career, um, we didn't have the extensive internet capabilities, the mobile phones,
Yes.
those type of things weren't in place. And so the digitalization that's out there today, there were things that were on the cusp of and working towards it,
Yeah.
but weren't there. And so now that I've, fast forward to where we are today, but even when I think of it from a post-pandemic situation, the amount of flexibility that has to be there, people working from home, and that whole dynamic, which when I started my career, there was no concept of, you'd work from home. It was, you worked, in my case, you had a desktop computer even.
Yeah.
So you had to be there that's where your workstation was, that's where your phone was, those type of things. And so that the game has changed drastically from that aspect where our reach is vast and global. And so I can work with someone who's in Hong Kong, and it's seamless. My meetings and the engagement now, it's a different way of thinking. The social media platforms that are out there, and how that's even leveraged when you think about LinkedIn, and the connections that leads to. Before I thought of social media, it was Facebook, and you're on there, and you have family interactions. Now there's a true professional relationship building and opportunities that come from a social platform.
Yes.
That really connect that reach. Even our connection, it comes from some of those same platforms. And so it's a different world that I think the key for me, I'm always learning.
Yes.
And so I'm learning from my children who are becoming young professionals, and some of them are young professionals. And I'm realizing I need to be comfortable being led, because you guys have a vision for something that I don't necessarily have. So how can I give you the wisdom that I've encountered, and make sure that my ceiling is your floor? So this is what I was able to do. This is your starting point.
Yes.
And so that's my view towards mentorship, even from that aspect. But it's the building on top of what we've built and cultivated, so that it can go even further.
Oh, wonderful. Now, you've worked for so many great companies, and you have a very long career. And but my next question is, do you think it's up to the employee or the employer to look into work-life balance, to do something about work-life balance? So what is your take on that?
That's a great question. I've had different conversations in this area, and I will say, from whether it be mentors or different managers that I've had throughout, or even just what I've learned from different careers and companies, I do believe that work-life balance is your responsibility.
Yes.
So it's up to me to set that boundary or barrier of where I find that focus. And that's critical, because you have some who truly enjoy being in the office, some who really thrive working from home, some who are just they are constantly putting in 50, 60, 70 hours, and for them and their stage in life, it's okay. You have some that once they've now had different life situations happen, children, those type of things, their gauge shifts. And so for me, I'm a big firm believer in outcomes, outcome driven. So are you able to deliver the results? And if you are, then the way that you're able to execute on those results, if you're able to do so in a way that you can work from home, or that you require that flexibility, I'm all for it. And so I'm a big believer that from that standpoint, but yet you have to kind of gauge that and set the boundaries of what's comfortable for you.
Yes.
But you also have to make sure that you're constantly delivering results in that way. So it's truly one of those things where if that's what you're going to do, you're able to back that up with